I, male 30, married my wife 30 around 5 years ago. We'd been dating since high school. I loved how smart, ambitious and driven she was. We bonded over academics and nerd stuff. We both landed good jobs in the same city right after college. 3 years into marriage we had our baby. We had decided to send our child to daycare after 6 months. But when 6 months were up, she refused to go to work and send our child to daycare. Her argument was if I picked up more work, we could afford a single-income household, and she'll be saving us money by being a stay-at-home parent. It was better for our child as well. I refused. Daycare is normal. If only I were working, I'd have to work way more hours, be exhausted, and not spend as much time with my child. I said if she was scared about daycare, we could work different shifts to stay at home with our baby, like a tag team. She refuses, saying that doesn't work for her and that as a mom, she always needs to be with her baby. This caused a huge fight between us. She quit her job. She took care of the baby during my work hours and wanted me to take care of cooking dinner on weekdays and cooking, cleaning and baby care on weekends because a stay-at-home mom deserves breaks too. This dynamic made me resent her. I tried communicating many times. The load of bills, insane work hours, and inability to enjoy time with my baby all deeply upset me. I filed for divorce when I was sure she wouldn't listen to me. The court gave 50-50 custody, no alimony or child support since I proved it was her own decision to stay home, something I never agreed upon, and her career break was around a year only. I moved back in with my parents and they also have a room for our baby. Meanwhile, my ex-wife is struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. My baby stays with my mom when I work. My mom offered my ex the same, but she was so mad at me that she refused my mom's care and enrolled our baby in daycare. I refused to pay for it since she could leave our kid with my mom. My ex-wife and her friends called me an idiot for divorcing her over being a stay-at-home and not providing any support. Am I the idiot? Everyone needs to be on the same page once children are involved, and you were not. You're not the idiot for not wanting to be the breadwinner, cook, cleaner and weekend nanny. Obviously not. You chose to divorce your wife rather than miss out on seeing your child grow up. And where was there supposed to be time in that for your well-deserved break? I'm sorry for your child that this ended in divorce. You tried to communicate your desires many times. Agreed, marriage is a partnership, not a dictatorship. You had a plan and a verbal agreement. Your wife reneged on the deal and decided to become a stay-at-home mom. Marriage doesn't work like that. And now she had to go back to work. And where did the baby wind up? In childcare. Yep, notice how daycare to help the marriage was unacceptable, but daycare out of spite is perfectly fine. She didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom for the baby, she just didn't want to work. This is one of those screw around and find out scenarios. The courts decided custody and no child support, not you. Her decisions put her where she is right now, and that has nothing to do with you. Enjoy being able to spend more time with your kiddo. Bingo. She should have gotten a rich man to get her pregnant. She figured if they divorced, she would get alimony and child support, not work and just enjoy being a mum. She's been dying to quit her job and be a stay-at-home. Husband be damned. Her overconfidence, however, was her weakness. She absolutely shot herself in the foot, and I'm glad she didn't get child support and alimony. I'm terrified of getting into a relationship with this type of woman, someone who is just waiting to bait and switch. I'm on vacation with my immediate family. I'm a female, 30, and my two brothers are in their late 30s. They're both married and have kids. 5 kids total, ranging from toddlers to tweens. My parents are also on the trip and I'm accompanied by my boyfriend of 2 years. We're here for a week and it's been really fun so far. We have a mix of days where we have activities planned and then a few free days. My family has had a text thread going for months with all of the trip planning, so we knew which days were activity versus free days. My boyfriend and I had planned a romantic dinner for one of the free nights at a nice restaurant on the island. We made a reservation months ago because it books up quickly. I was getting ready to go out and one of my sisters-in-law commented about me dressing up to stay in. I was confused and asked her to clarify. She'd said that she, my brother and my other married brother and his wife were doing a couple spa evening experience that they'd booked a few days earlier and they needed my boyfriend and me to watch all of their kids. She said my brother was supposed to have asked me earlier that day. He forgot to. When I explained that my boyfriend and I already had plans, she was super unsympathetic. She said they'd already prepaid for the spa experience, and since we hadn't paid for the dinner yet, it wouldn't make sense for them to have to cancel their plans. I never agreed to watch their kids. I love my nieces and nephews, but my family knows I'm child-free and have been for years. It's been a point of contention for a long time. I wouldn't mind watching them if I'd been given advance notice, but having them slapped on me when I had plans with my boyfriend made me upset. My sister-in-law said I didn't understand how much she needed time away from her kids because I don't have kids of my own. She said I was selfish and could handle one night of being a mom. It's not the point. I would have agreed if she'd asked me months ago before my boyfriend and I made dinner plans. I checked and we won't be able to get another reservation before we leave. My parents walked in on us arguing and eventually offered to watch the kids. They were supposed to go to a free concert on the beach together but decided to cancel so someone could stay with the kids. I felt really bad, but my mom insisted. Now it's the next day and my sister-in-law won't even look at me. I'm angry at her too, but we're stuck here for a week so I don't know what to do. My mom thinks I should apologize, but I feel I'm the one owed the apology here. Am I the idiot? Edit, we're not staying in a resort or hotel that would have babysitting services. We're staying in a family friend's vacation house and rental property. She said I was being selfish and I could handle one night of being a mom. Why not ask really politely? Making accusations is not how to get people to be nice to you and accept a reasonable no. You'd made plans just like they had. You couldn't reschedule. And also she got what she needed, a babysitter for the night. So why is she mad at you and not at her husband or herself for not organizing her stuff correctly? You are not the idiot. OP, she's mad because she expects you to drop everything for their children regardless of your plans. She strikes me as extremely selfish and narcissistic. Everything revolves around her. Do not apologize. If anything, ask your brother why they thought it was okay to demand you babysit. Don't let them guilt you for their wrongdoing. Sister-in-law needs to put her entitlement in check, and the fact that your brother did not step in is leaving my flabber absolutely gasted. There is no part of this story that you're responsible for. If your mother thinks that you should be the one to apologize, she's enabling sister-in-law. This is a hill to die on, and we are here to support you. Hopefully, you and your boyfriend can find a way to enjoy the rest of the vacation. All the best, OP. My 28-year-old female husband, 32, has OCD, which has worsened in the past few years and manifests in him constantly moving items around the house. I try to be mindful of this because I know we can't help it, but I just don't understand what sets him off and what doesn't, especially because his preferences always seem to change. He describes this behavior as cleaning, or when he's annoyed with me as cleaning up after me, although it's nothing of the sort. It's not even really organization. The things never get moved to a designated place, they just go to wherever his whim dictates, whether that place makes sense or not. This results in me frequently losing essential items like keys, bills, and things I'm actively trying to use. I wouldn't have nearly as much of a problem with this behavior if he cleaned the house in more meaningful ways, but he doesn't. Sweeping and vacuuming? All me. Dishes? All me. Dusting, cleaning the toilets and shower, any kind of cleaning that involves removal of filth. All me. He doesn't usually see me clean because I prefer cleaning when he's out. I work from home and he commutes, but it really should be obvious how much I contribute. But that's not how he views things. A couple of days ago, as he was doing one of his cleaning sessions, he started berating me about never doing anything to keep the place clean, and that he cleans up after me all goddamn day. This set me off because I'd just spent a long time earlier that day painstakingly scrubbing every inch of the master bathroom toilet. I said that I had a hugely disproportionate housekeeping workload and that his habit doesn't count as cleaning to anyone but him, that the house would be a sty if he was the only one taking care of it, and that he needed to start contributing to housework instead of just shuffling stuff around and making me lose my things. Ever since that argument, he's been very short with me and avoiding me. Was I in the wrong here? Edit, he was diagnosed with OCD in his early 20s before we met. He had a very negative experience with therapy, and if I'd experienced what he did, I would also probably be scared of trying it again. Not the idiot. There are two issues. He isn't appreciating your labor, and you think his labor is genuinely unhelpful. You two need to sit down and divide up chores intentionally. You're not satisfied with how much housework you're doing, and he's not satisfied with it either, so once you two are calm, it should be a conversation that you both want to have. Cleaning and tidying are separate categories. What he's doing might be tidying, but it isn't cleaning. Cleaning and hygiene are far more important to the health of the people in a home than tidying is. Use this language to help. Also, OCD is a really awful thing people live with, not a habit. Please don't say that ever again. Growing up with a father with untreated OCD, I empathise with you. All he would do was move things around when he was cleaning, which was an everyday occurrence. I would lose things, and he would swear he wouldn't touch them, but he would move them to different spots. I think what needs to happen is some professional intervention for his OCD. Whether that be therapy or medication or whatever other outlets make sense for him, otherwise it won't change no matter how many times you talk to him about it, and the more you talk to him, the more he will get frustrated. Stop cleaning when he's not home and do it in front of him. Show him how much you do. Keep a journal for a week or a month. Every damn task you do. Stop cleaning for a month. My ex did make the same comment to me. He didn't have OCD and I was so hurt by it. I stopped cleaning. Then, shock horror, and I don't agree with some comments. Clean when he's there, show him what you do. No, screw that. He's not a child. He should know by now that things don't get magically cleaned by themselves. Stop cleaning and let him see what you're bringing to the table. I, 28 female, gave birth to a baby girl a week ago. I'm slightly obsessed, honestly, and my husband, 28, isn't too far behind me. Everything about our daughter is perfect. To say I'm very protective already is an understatement, but I will admit that I'm a bit wrong here, though I can't tell. I feel that I'm mostly valid. So basically, my mother-in-law was a crap mom to my husband and his brother. The amount of times I heard her talk about how she used to leave them home by themselves when they were 3 and 4 years old while she went to work 12 to 16-hour shifts at the hospital or went to the laundromat and would come home to the police there is insane. Then, when the boys were 6 and 7, she left the country to visit her mother and left the boys with their father, who didn't know them and refused all contact for over a year. In the end, the boys ended up in foster care for over 2 years. Their dad brought them to CPS and dropped them off, and when she did regain custody of them, she once again left them home alone because she started seeing some guy who didn't want kids and moved in with him. So the boys fended for themselves for 5+ years. She bought them groceries and made sure they went to school, but they lived alone in a trailer on their family's property. She tried being a mom again when they were 16 and 17, and my husband has forgiven her, but I don't trust her. I would never in a million years trust her to watch my daughter because of what she put her children through. I understand that years have passed since all this happened, and yes, she tries making up for it now, but she's still very much in the mindset of her not doing anything wrong because my husband turned out all right. He has severe abandonment issues. Her other son has been in prison since he was 23. So she came over here a few days ago and said something like, "I need to get a crib for my house so she has somewhere to sleep." I asked why, and she said, "Well, for when I'm babysitting." Originally, I told her that we wouldn't need a sitter for quite some time, and she argued that I would need to go back to work and that daycares can't be trusted. I don't even know why it came out of my mouth, but I said, "Neither can you. I wouldn't let you or a daycare watch my baby." Now there are issues because everyone is angry that I would mention that she's untrustworthy, except my husband, but he is disappointed. Edit, he isn't disappointed that I won't let his mum watch the baby because he said he doesn't trust her either, but he expected me to sugarcoat it and let her believe there was a chance she would someday be allowed around our baby unattended to babysit her. So he basically wanted me to lie to her and make her believe there was a chance when there wasn't. Not the idiot. Why would you trust her with your child when she neglected her own children? I wouldn't trust her to care for a goldfish. She was deemed an unfit mother and had children removed from her care. She should never be allowed unsupervised with your children. Why does it fall on you to sugarcoat anything? I can't believe your husband still talks to her in all honesty. Seconded. Being nice? Why would OP? This is the type of thing to just put as a hard no. Do not give the mother-in-law a chance to claim some type of grandparents' rights, even if they don't legally exist. It's a pain to deal with in any way. Tell your husband to get his butt in counselling and figure out what is wrong with him that he would throw his child in the trash to appease his garbage mom. The fact that he wanted you to lie and risk your baby's future health is BS, and I sincerely hope he can grow a spine and stand by you. She deserves to be told what a crap mom she was, and that's why she won't be trusted to be alone with the baby. I'm a married woman with a husband who sometimes makes jokes that bother me. He says it's just a joke and I shouldn't take it seriously, but I think he's disrespectful. Last weekend we went to a family gathering at his parents' house. During a private conversation, he made a joke that upset me. He said I should stay in the kitchen with the other woman and make lunch for him and the men in the family because that was my role. He laughed at his own joke and expected me to laugh too, but I didn't find it funny at all. I got angry and told him he was a misogynist and that I wasn't his maid. He said I was overreacting and that it was just an innocent joke. He said I had no sense of humour and that I should relax. I walked away from him and went to the living room. His sister, my sister-in-law, noticed I was upset and asked me what had happened. I told her the truth and she was furious. She said her brother was an idiot and that she would talk to him. She also told the other women in the family what he'd said and they were all outraged. They all went to talk to him and criticised him for the misogynistic joke. He felt embarrassed and tried to justify himself, but no one accepted it. When we got home, he sulked and said that I and the women in the family took his joke too seriously. He said it was just a joke and I shouldn't have said anything. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your husband was being rude and you had every right to be upset. He had little respect for you when he made the jokes, clearly. And if he keeps saying it and says it's a joke, it's probably not a joke, but his actual views he may be spinning off as a joke. Those jokes are absolutely misogynistic and unfunny. You weren't in the wrong for feeling upset by them. Good on the women in the family for telling him off. I disagree. You are the idiot, OP. The joke may have been upsetting, but I wonder how you and the commenters would react if you'd made a joke that offended Hubs, and he ran off to tell your dad and brothers, and they all gave you a talking to. You would probably call him fragile. If you don't like the joke you tell him, don't run whining to his family about it. You're his wife. Tell him you don't like it and keep private problems between the two of you. Or do you want your husband running to your family whenever you do something he doesn't like?